Hello, welcome back to part 2, finding percents without a calculator. So here we're going to set up a method that we're going to use anytime we work with percents without a calculator. And that method is going to be proportions. Because percent means out of 100, we can use a proportion. And we're going to set up part-whole relationship. In order to figure out the part and the whole, we'll talk about that in just a second, but for the percent part, it's easy. Since it's out of 100, our percent's always going to go the percent on top, and it's going to be over 100. So 60 would go over 100. And then we're going to have our part and our whole. The whole will be what we're finding the percent of, and the part will be if we're given the value that is 60% of it. Okay, so the part is the is area, and the whole is the of area. So in this situation, because I'm finding 60% of 64, 64 will be my whole value. So now I'm going to set my proportion up 60 out of 100. Out of x over 64. Because I want to find a value equivalent to 60 related to 64. I'm going to solve this like normal by cross multiplying. I'll get 100x and then we're going to have to do a little bit of math here off to the side. I need to do 64 times 60. 0, 0, 24. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 2 is 38. So we get 100x equals 3,840. And now I need to divide by 100. And the little trick for dividing by 100 is we're going to move the decimal 2 spaces to the left. Move the decimal 2 spaces left. And so my answer, x, equals 34.8. Or 38.4, excuse me. 38.4 is 60% of 64. Now that we see how to set the proportion up, let's look at the next one. What is 45% of 67? So here my percent part of the proportion, and of 67 is going to be the whole. So in order to set my proportion up, I'm going to start with my percent. So I'll start with 45 over 100 of 64. So my part is always on top. My whole is always on the bottom. Oops. The whole should actually be 67. X over 67. Now I can cross multiply. 100 times x is 100x. I have to come off to the side and do a little bit of math. 45 times 67. 5 times 7 is 35. 28, 29, 30, 31, so 315. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. We add it up, 5, 1, 10, carry the 1, so it makes 3015. I need to divide by 100 on both sides. So that's going to cancel out and become x. And now I just slide my decimal. It's dividing by 100. 2 spaces to the right, or excuse me, 2 spaces left. And I get 30.15. Alright, go ahead and try the next 2 examples on your own. Remember that at the very end, when we divide by 100, we're moving 2 spaces to the left to divide by 100. Okay. And make sure you set up your part-whole proportion correctly. Good luck.